What's up and happy mental push up Monday, baby. We here. If this is your first time joining, my name is Andrea Fitzgerald. I'm an author, a speaker, an educator, and also a person really obsessed with personal growth and development. So each week we get in the gym and we do our mental push-ups because the most challenging and rewarding work that we will ever do is on ourselves. So today, you know it's June. It's Father's Day is around the corner. So I just want to share with you all a few life lessons that I have learned from my dad. So Dad, this one is for you. So the first life lesson, first thing I got from you, Dad, was actually my love for basketball. I literally was inspired to play basketball because I saw you playing basketball one day. We went to the gym. I saw you playing. I said, "Ooh, I want to do that." And I think another thing was also us going to Uncle Jay's house and going to Mud's house, and we would always be watching sports. But I think that's where I got my love for sports, and basketball has afforded me so many opportunities. Like I went to Disney World, I traveled, I went my first time to California, my first time at the beach, like all these different things just from being able to do basketball. But hey, I was inspired to play from you, so thank you for that. Thanks, Dad. Another thing I learned from you, Dad, was being unapologetically yourself. I think that the song by Frank Sinatra, "I Did It My Way." Hey, you definitely live by that mantra. I see that every day. I often think about a story you told me about when you were younger. You said that one time someone said to you when you were younger, they were like, "Hey, smoke this cigarette," and you were like, "Yeah, I ain't doing it." And he called you a square and everything. You were like, "Yep, I'm still not doing it." But I think I took that from you, that just be unapologetically yourself, but also like if something feels off or is misaligned, like trust that within yourself, and because you definitely live your life that way. You do it your way. Like nobody's telling you what and how to do anything. You gonna do it on your terms. So I respect that. 10 toes down, being yourself. All right, so being authentic. Appreciate that, Dad. I think another thing that I learned from you, Dad, was hard work and practice gets results. I remember that something that you used to always tell me was that, if you put in the work, anything is possible. I never thought that there was another option in my mind besides I'm going to play college basketball. Like it's happening, that's it. But I had to put in the work to make that happen. I remember on Saturdays we go to the Y and we play basketball. During the summer we go to the Y, we work out, we get on the bike, treadmill, do all kinds of stuff. And even you would often tell me like to play against guys because it would make me stronger and it would make me better. And even when I didn't have a goal, you were like, "Hey, dribble up the driveway, up with your right, back with your left." That's what I did because I knew that's what it took to be successful, that I had to put the work and the time in. So I learned that from you, Dad, so thank you for that. I think another thing I got from you, Dad, is being a seeker. The philosophical stuff. This blog is a manifestation of being a seeker. That's what this is all about, growing, learning. But I learned that from you, Dad. I mean, you always been reading books. You've always been, kind of eccentric and out the box with your thinking. And Jen always says, she says, you are your father's child. Because yes, I'm all about that stuff. I love a good philosophical book. I know one time I was going through a breakup and I read The Tao in a Piece. Like, I mean, come on, that book is real deep. Like, I didn't even know what the hell I was reading. But now I read it 2 years ago and now I actually get it. So it's a very good read. But I got that book actually from your bookshelf. So thank you, Dad, because I'm definitely a seeker too. I want the answer to life's deepest questions, and I love our conversations when we talk about those things. So thanks, Dad. I appreciate that from you. I think the next thing I learned from you, Dad, is that things will always work out. And I've called you multiple times throughout my life of my many meltdowns. I think one time I thought I was going to lose my scholarship. Going through a breakup one time. I mean, guys, of course, you'll be tired of meltdown. Oh my gosh, my life is over. It's not gonna work out. Freaking out, right? But each time you'd often tell me, you'd say, "I want you to think about a previous experience that you had, like pulling on previous experience. Remember when this happened? Remember what that happened? What happened? Did you survive? I said, yeah, I survived. Then you'll survive this too. This is no different. And look at me now. I'm still here. I guess I survived the meltdowns and hooping and hollering on the phone, because look at me. I'm still here. But that is true. Something that that I've learned in my role that I have now. We talk about strength-based coaching, but you were doing strength-based coaching before it was a thing, because constantly you pulled on previous experiences, but also like different strengths that I already had to remind myself that you can make this, you can do this, you could do this. And every time I did, it did always work out. And I think the last thing that I learned from you, Dad, was compassion and acceptance. One of the things I really admire about you is that, like, you don't look at people, you don't really like judge people by like kind of like what they do and stuff like that. Like, you accept people exactly for who they are, and that I appreciate. And especially me, Dad, I really appreciate that. You know, like, coming out is not an easy thing, and you know, it's hard enough trying to accept that within yourself, but then let alone have to tell your family and say, hey, I'm a little different, you know. And so yeah, it's challenging, but I appreciate that from you, that you accepted me. So I have this letter that I keep in my car, because my dad wrote it to me when I came out to him, and I told him, and I was telling him, I was like, yeah, I don't know if I actually even want to come back home, because I don't know if it'll be accepted or whatever. And he wrote me a letter, so I want to read it to you all. But it really touched my heart. Like, I read it, I was reading to my sister the other day, and I said, it just made me cry inside. It tear up. Hopefully I don't tear up on here, but I'm gonna read it to y'all. So he wrote me. Now I'm gonna tell you, like, that's something else we got in common, Dad. Like, my handwriting is a little janky too. This one, I hope I can read this. Okay, all right. Dear Andrea, I would not worry about what other people think. It certainly does not. It would not stop me from moving back home. You are the same person that you always were. You are my child, my daughter, my stink, and the love of my life. The only thing that's different is your sexual preference, and that is not something that God or anyone else should judge you by. You will be judged on how you treat others and what you do to help mankind. Love, Daddy. And I really appreciate that letter. You know, I keep that with me, because it just reminds me, you know, like, the gratitude I have that you accepted me. It's not always easy. Like, I hear stories often of people, like, their parents disown them. Like, it's a really hard process, and to know that someone still loves you, it really means a lot. And so I really appreciate that, Dad. So thank you so much, Dad. I really appreciate it. This one is for you. So if you know a dad, you are a dad, happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day, Pops. I appreciate it. And so if this video added some value, share, subscribe, like, all of that. And as I always say, be bold, be brave, and most importantly, friends, be you. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Dad, I love you, and happy Father's Day. And I'm out.